Welcome.
Split was released in 2016 and was directed by M. Night Shyamalan. It stars James McAvoy, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Betty Buckley, and is about a man who has DID, dissociative identity disorder, and he kidnaps 3 girls. Before I even start this review, I highly recommend this movie, and I want you to watch this movie before you watch the review. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time to do that, and in the meanwhile, while you watch the movie, I just want to say, I know that I said I was going to do The Hills Have Eyes on Tuesday, but I just watched Split again, and it is such a great horror movie, and I felt that I should do a review about it. So don't be in the comment section like, "Ew, Ryan, why didn't you do Hills Have Eyes? You said that." Or you're texting me like, "Ew, Ryan, why didn't you do Hills Have Eyes?" That's why. So, Tina, I want you to put up a cute little graphic right now. Boom. So, as you can see from this graphic, today, we're doing Split. Next Tuesday, we're going to do Unbreakable. I know it's out of order. Yeah, we already know that Unbreakable is the first movie and then Split's the second, but I just watched Split and I want to review Split, and I'm going to rewatch Unbreakable and review that next Tuesday. And then, the Tuesday after that, I'm going to review Glass, which I actually have not seen yet. I have already seen Unbreakable, but I haven't seen Glass, so I'm very excited for that. But let's actually get into the review of this movie, so I hope you watched it. I should say, though, that I'm going to try not to spoil. I did like a little tiny spoiler in the beginning part, which I don't care. So, the first pro of this movie is 1,000,000,000% James McAvoy. He is so amazing as this character. He's the man who kidnaps the 3 girls. His name is Kevin. He is just so amazing in this role. And he has so much to do. I mean, I guess I'll do a little spoiler. He has 23 personalities. And every single one of these characters has so much depth to them. And they're so completely different from one another. And he just does such an amazing job of showing the little differences between these characters. And there's certain scenes where he'll just switch into a different character right in front of you. And it's such a smooth transition. And it doesn't feel jumbled. It doesn't feel forced. It just feels like this new personality has taken the spotlight. And the other personality basically just sits in a chair, as he says, and waits for their chance. Since I'm talking up James McAvoy, it wouldn't feel right if I talked up the main female lead, Anya Taylor-Joy. She does a phenomenal job in this role, and there's a lot of depth to her character, and it doesn't try to force feed you all of this depth with her character, because there's a lot to be unraveled, and it gives you like little teaspoons at a time, and doesn't want to tell you the full story until later on when, you know, everything's going down and you start to see how she's become the woman that she is. And I really, really like that. And they do such a great job of throwing it back to the past. The actress who portrays Anya's character in the movie, she does a great job of like the past little baby self. She does a great job. Casey is the character I'm talking about, if you couldn't tell. I just forgot her name for a second, but I didn't want to stop my role. I know I'm putting the spotlight a lot on James McAvoy and Anya Taylor-Joy, but overall, this movie just has excellent acting all around the board. No character really felt like they were struggling or they didn't know what they were doing. Every single character had a purpose, and the actor or actress always knew what they were trying to portray and what they were doing. So, great job, whoever casted the movie. You did an amazing job. Another big pro I have with this movie is the plot. I mean, it's such an interesting plot and has sort of a realism to it. I mean, when you're watching this kidnapping take place in the beginning, it feels so realistic, which adds to a lot of the horror of that scene. And there's so many parts where it just feels so realistic, and it doesn't try to be like, all right, just accept this, you know, this is a little bit stretching the truth, but just accept it. It never does that. It really tries to stay in that realistic place until some stuff starts to go down, and it's like, oh my god, what is happening? And it's the coolest thing you will ever see in your life. The last pro that I really have with this movie is the scares. They're great. They're well timed. It doesn't just try to jump scare you to death. It really tries to plan out every single one of its scares. And I think the reason it works so well is because of how realistic it is. And I know I'm bringing back, going back to before when I was saying about how realistic everything felt, like the acting, the plot, all of that. And it's just true. This entire movie feels realistic. And it always feels like if a movie does have that realistic feel, that the scares land more, which they do in this movie. Since we're talking about all these pros, we do have to mention a con, which I only have really one con, and it's kind of a nitpick a little bit. The one con that I really have with this movie is the character of Dr. Fletcher. Not her herself, but the movie between the beginning and middle does a lot where they'll just have random meetings with Dr. Fletcher, not with Kevin / Barry / you know, if you watch the movie, you'll understand why I'm saying that. It's the man with the multiple personalities. It's not because of meetings with him. It's more so meetings that she just has with like other students or other colleagues. It just takes up a lot of time, and it really doesn't feel that important to the story. There's one specific one, which I don't have a problem with. But there's another one where it just didn't feel like it needed to be there, or it didn't need to be as long as it was. Overall, I'm going to give this movie a 9.5 out of 10, and I'd recommend it. Go watch this movie. I already told you to watch the movie before watching the review, so if you didn't listen to me, I hope you regret it now. Watch the damn movie. So thank you everyone for watching, and The Hills Have Eyes will be coming soon, I promise. I just don't know when. I'm going to say tentatively, without fully saying this is going to happen, that I will try to do The Hills Have Eyes after Glass. So you guys can look forward to that review and all the reviews in the series, because there are some really good movies in this series, as you've already seen with Split. But as I've already said, thank you everyone for watching. Leave a comment down below if there's any other movies you would like me to review, or if your opinion was different about this movie, which I don't see why. It's a pretty good movie, and a lot of my friends and a lot of people I know agree that's a really good movie. But let's flash forward to the next review.